It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top freshmen from last year in the Mountain West and now the newest member of Utah, Rollie Worster. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Super excited, and thank you for having me on. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Well, let's kind of get into this because this has been a crazy journey for you, and we're kind of going through your story a little bit to get to this point. But we know now you are the newest member of Utah. You have a bunch of guys coming in, following Coach Smith out there. But take us through how you're feeling right now.
I'm just super excited. Obviously played for Coach Smith last year, so know his style. He knows me and how I play, so there's a lot of comfortability there. And then know some of the guys that are getting either recruited or are committed there right now, including my roommate Marco Anthony, who just committed I think yesterday. So just super excited to get down there and start getting to work.
Absolutely. Well, let's kind of go through this story. 'Cause like I said, it is a unique one from where you come from to this point. It's a crazy story. So let's kind of head all the way back. You're from Montana. Walk us through what was it like growing up out there?
Yeah, all my like a lot of my friends and their families, they're big like hunters, fishers, stuff like that. Uh, but I never did any of that growing up. I still don't. So it was kind of different. But yeah, I just like to work out. I played football and basketball in high school, so enjoyed that. And definitely it's a different feeling playing like last year at Utah State versus a lot of the competition. Felt more like AAU, I guess, because to get recruited, I had to go outside of the state
Mhm.
because there's not a lot of schools looking at people from Montana for that aspect. But it was cool. I really successful in high school. Our teams did really well at school, so that was fun.
And like you said, it's a pretty unique thing that we see a guy, especially at your caliber now, playing at a high major like the Pac-12, to come from Montana because there's not a lot of talent that comes from there in terms of basketball. So in terms of basketball out there, how are you able to emerge and become the guy you are today?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just working hard. Obviously,
Mhm.
kind of cliche to say that, but it's the facts and kind of what everyone does. But yeah, just work out hard and then go on trips in AU to California, Vegas, to get some exposure.
Mhm.
Yeah, the last guy was Trace Tinkle, played for Oregon State in the Pac-12 from Montana, and I actually went to the same high school, so kind of just seeing how he did it and stuff and what it takes to get there.
And so for you, obviously you mentioned too, like growing up out in Montana, a lot of guys are more used to going fishing, hunting, that kind of lifestyle. Was that something, like you said, you never really did pursue that, you never really did any of that. So how are you kind of able to balance that? Like obviously not having too many friends that want to grind at the same level you do, the same amount that you do out there. How'd you kind of handle that growing up?
Yeah, my dad was there a lot. He
Mhm.
works me out a ton. I also really good trainer, Steve Pitts down here. So working out with them and my sisters too played, and they're older than me, so we were really competitive as a family. And I would just say, yeah, just working out with them was the biggest thing for me.
So you decided to go to Hellgate High, and that's where you really create your legacy out there. You spend 4 years out there too. But why did you choose that school? Like, why is it the school you chose to attend for high school?
Yeah, because obviously they are really storied program at Hellgate for high
Mhm.
school, especially Montana, and just Coach Hayes, Jeff Hayes was the coach, a really good coach. And growing up, I got to watch like Trace Tinkle's team with a lot of other guys that ended up playing college basketball,
Mhm.
have a lot of success, and liked how they played. So that was kind of the biggest thing for me.
So before you got to campus, start living out your career there, could you imagine saying you're going to win Gatorade Player of the Year twice for your state, being a guy that's going to break the school scoring record, second all time in assists, third all time in rebounds, guy that's going to go play Division One, eventually even a high major like Utah? Like, could you imagine all that happening back then when you're walking as a freshman?
No, it was definitely a dream. Like every kid's dream to play at the highest level they can. And it didn't really start setting in, I think, until you start getting like offers and looked at by a bunch of schools. But no, definitely couldn't thought that was going to happen my freshman year.
So you go in there your freshman campaign, you guys go with 17-7 that year. You do come out, you win all state like you do all 4 years and all conference. But walk us through that freshman year for you.
Yeah, it was super cool. I had a lot of teammates who kind of helped me along, especially a kid named Darius Collins. He actually plays at Montana Tech in Butte, Montana. But just to have older guys, who believe in you and help you with your confidence was really cool.
Hmm.
And then, just to go in and play my game was the biggest thing, I think. And it was definitely at first, you got to get used to bigger, stronger, faster kids. But it was super, super fun year. And honestly, I think we underperformed for us. But yeah, it was definitely cool to come in as a freshman and be able to play right away.
I can imagine that you and coach grow a pretty tight bond with each other, being with the coach for 4 years and really being that star guard. Because we do know that obviously the point guard, shooting guard, always going to have the closest bond with the coach because you guys kind of run the offense for them. How much did you guys grow, and what was your bond like, even to this day? But how much have you seen it grow from the time you were a freshman to today?
A lot, and he actually ran camps for younger kids to come in, and whether or not you plan to go to his school or not, and go do drills and stuff like that. So I actually always went to those. So I knew him and like his family from a young age, like elementary school age. And then now, like I come back and like we'll go get dinner or something, and catch up and talk about basketball and stuff. So it's really cool to have that relationship.
And off the court now, you also are playing on the field. You're also a football player. What was it like playing football? And take us to the other side of Raleigh.
Yeah, it was super fun. We had my freshman year, a new coach come in, Mick Morris. He's really good coach. He also did track or coach track. But when I came as a freshman, we actually didn't have a varsity football team
Mhm.
because we had we hadn't won a game in like years. I can't remember how many. So then played the freshman team. And then after that, we had a varsity in my junior and senior year. We won, I think, 3 games. So that was kind of big for us to turn the program around. It was kind of a complete rebuild. And so that was pretty special, honestly, especially that first win after I think it was like 5 years or something, not winning a game for our school. It was kind of crazy. So it was definitely fun.
Was that ever something you pursued, being a guy that could possibly walk on or even play at football at college level? Like, did you ever consider that at any point?
Yeah, I think early in like high school I did just because I didn't know basketball wise what was going to happen.
Hmm.
So I actually like picked up some offers for football, and then I just like basketball more. And being from Montana, you can't play football year round, so I played basketball year round, and I just enjoy it. So love the game.
That had to be a hard transition too. I mean, going from football to basketball body in just a short span. How were you able to balance that in the years you did play basketball and football?
Yeah, I will. They do complement each other. Like football being physical helps with basketball,
Hmm.
vice versa, footwork wise. So that definitely helped. But I think the biggest thing was just kind of finding ways to like keep in touch with basketball during football season or during basketball, whatever. I could do, just extra stuff to I keep the feel of the game basically.
Hmm. You do go out there and you have 3,400 passing yards. You finish with over 2,000 rushing yards over your time. Walk us through this overall. Like, you look back at, like, what were some of your favorite memories, though? What's some of the biggest things that you remember from your high school football career?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing was our first win because everyone was going, we never really got that many fans or students out to the games.
Hmm.
And then, we came out at halftime when we were up and like the stadium was full, like there wasn't a seat open. And then everyone rushed the field and it was a huge like celebration. So that was pretty cool. And then my senior year, we actually got a playoff game. So those two are probably my best memories.
Well, if we go back on the court now, then your sophomore year is another all-state performance. You guys get 21 wins. You're only 8 losses that year. Walk us through your sophomore year a little bit.
Yeah, we lost a few key seniors, that graduated, and then but our underclassmen, like a lot of our sophomores, became upperclassmen, and so that helped us. But um, we kind of had the same story the end of that year at state. We lost to a team, Great Falls again, which sucked, but
Hmm.
yeah, so it's kind of the same story, but it was still a really fun year, and we knew we were kind of onto something as a team. We were building the program up, and we knew going into that next year that we were going to be a top team for sure.
That's where I really want to get in deeper into your high school basketball career because you obviously blow up that next year. You win Gatorade Play of the Year, 22 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal per game. Take us through that year. Like, what led to that breakout? Was it something you just put more work in the offseason, or what really led to your breakout junior campaign?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing was just confidence. I think I always put the work in. I don't think anything changed that way. Obviously you get better every year. But I think the biggest thing was just my confidence, and just going out there and doing it, not worry about anything and just play my game.
Winning Gatorade Play of the Year is an award that everyone kind of dreams of growing up in. For you to get that as a junior, how did you learn about that? What was your reaction? Like, walk us through that whole experience when you were able to win Gatorade Play of the Year.
Yeah, it was super cool, to get that award, be recognized for that, obviously. And it's just not a testament of me, it's a testament of like everyone I've grown up with playing, everyone who's helped me along the way, and
Mhm.
my teammates and coaches and family, everyone, friends. But it was super cool. I just got the call, and they told me. I was excited, and that's a really awesome award. Like you said, everyone wants to have, and then just have your banner up in the school also is a pretty neat thing.
To get that award, it's not just about what you do on the court or what you do on the field or any kind of sport. I mean, that's a huge piece. You have to be elite, but it's a lot about what you do off the court, in the classroom, in the community. So, kind of walk us through that side of Rollie. Like, what do you like off the court in terms of academics? How much you prioritize that? What you really like off the court and off the field?
Yeah, academics is everything. You can't play obviously if you don't have good grades, but not only that, but you want to be successful in the classroom because the ball does stop bouncing at some
Mhm.
point. So I mean, I take school seriously. I actually had better grades this year in college than I did in high school, but I had good grades in high school. And do my work on time and stuff. That's a big factor. And then off the court, I just like hanging out with my family and friends. Just do whatever, I guess. Nothing specific, really.
And at the same time, like as we talked about, like you weren't obviously having a ton of offers. You ended up getting a few different schools we'll touch upon in a second. But how are you kind of handling that? Not seeing your name get in the rankings, not seeing yourself become really a household national known name. Like were you down on yourself at any point? Like how'd you handle all that aspect?
Yeah. No, I didn't really feel the pressure down myself just because I knew coming from Montana, there's not as much publicity. And high school basketball isn't on the same stage as like California or Texas, places like that. So I wasn't too worried about it. I did go to some of the tournaments I went to. There were scouts there and stuff, and I thought I played fairly well, obviously to pick up some offers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I the rankings and everything to me doesn't really mean much, just because anyone. I mean, it's kind of a publicity thing, I think, more than anything. So I wasn't really worried about the ranking or anything like that.
And the part about you, which is unique too, is that your game isn't a typical thing that's going to catch a lot of eyes, and that's probably part of the reason too. And even when you did do well at AU tournaments, but you really kind of created yourself. Everything that's a part of your traits is kind of given by you. You're the one that kind of worked for it all. You're not the tallest point guard ever, not the most athletic, not the quickest. How have you learned to really focus in on your skill and really turn into becoming as elite as you are today?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just slowing the game down in my mind.
Mhm.
My dad and trainer always talked to me about that, just slowing down, and then just playing free, not overclouding my mind thinking about stuff, just playing free, doing me out there on the court, and let it fall where it may. And obviously, when you get offers or you get looked at, that's because you earned it. You never just receive that for no reason. So I just kept playing my game and focusing on me and not worrying about everything else.
So how do you control a game? Because when you're going up against a good guy in the AAU circuits, or now when you're past year in college, like you're going up against a guy like David Jenkins, who's an elite player, Bryce Hamilton. You go up against Marcus Williams, a star. Like there's a whole list of guys that were top players you went up against. How do you outplay them? How do you become and kind of hold your own out there and do your thing, even if they are taller, stronger, quicker?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just obviously take care of the ball, play good defense. Those are two big keys to a game. And then like not letting the other team speed you up or slow down, keeping your pace of the game. That's kind of how you control it, or how I like to think I do a lot. But yeah, just playing our pace and playing our game, I think is the biggest thing. Not letting another team affect us or change what we do.
Well, let's head into that senior year for you guys. You guys finished up undefeated. Obviously, COVID shut down. You guys possibly win a state championship, but overall, you can't really complain in terms of how well you played as a team. So, kind of walk us through that year. What was your undefeated senior year like?
It was really fun. We really killed it that year. I mean, our average win margin was like close to 30 points a game.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of times where some of my teammates and like I or our starting five would be out for the end of the game for quite some time just because we were up so big.
Mhm.
And I had great teammates. Abe Johnson went to Army, West Point for basketball. Cam Lawrence went to Tech in Butte, Montana. So we had some guys go play college ball that were really good in high school. So we kind of dominated my senior season. And it did suck that the championship got canceled because we knew we were going to win that, but we were undefeated still, and technically we got the state championship trophy, so that was pretty cool.
Obviously, you said that is the big thing. You could have won a state championship, but out of all the awards you did bring in throughout your career, which one would you say means the most to you? Like, is there one specifically that you like more than all the other ones?
I think definitely that trophy because we definitely earned it. Being undefeated and the team we were going to play in the championship, we had already beat that year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that just because that's the ultimate team goal, that's what you work for. All the individual stuff comes from just playing the right way and everything. But I think definitely the state championship is the biggest award.
And you look at all your games you played too. Which one would you say is your favorite one? Like, was there one game specifically that was your favorite by far above all the other ones?
Um, I don't really have one
Mm-hmm.
game. I mean, the state championship was really fun, but we ended up losing, so it's hard to say if that was my favorite. But I think maybe my senior year, that semifinal game we won, just because we were looking for redemption after losing the championship, and that before we found out it got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
We as the clock was winding down, we knew we were headed there again, had another chance at it. So that was super exciting until it kind of all came crashing down. But yeah, that was probably one of my favorite.
There's also a post you have showing a couple pictures that lead to you having a posterizing dunk. Gotta take us through that play a little bit and just walk us through that posterizing play.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't remember that much from it. I kind of just, I was coming down the court and it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really thinking about it. My body kind of just natural instincts took over.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone thinks I'm not athletic. I'm not a freak athlete by any
Mm-hmm.
standards, but I like to believe I am a good athlete. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't think I am. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, that play was super sweet. Actually, it was a charge, but I would definitely say that was like one of my favorite plays.
Now, I know Utah fans could get a little excited about that. Is that something we could expect? Like, do you think you can pull that out in a Utah game at some point? Could we see a posterized dunk sometime from you?
Oh, I definitely think so. Yeah. Last year I had a couple opportunities. I just didn't take them because they were kind of in crucial parts of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also had a stress fracture last year for some of the year I didn't know about. So it was kind of, I would say, hampering me a little bit that way. But I definitely think I can pull that out again. And Utah fans will be excited for sure if that happens.
You just mentioned the stress fracture. I know you missed a couple of games here and there, but take us through that. Like, how did you learn about the injury? Do you know when it exactly happened? Was it painful when you played through it? Like, take us through the injury.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was, and talking with the trainers and stuff, it wasn't hurting bad at first, so it didn't seem like anything major. I was gonna get it looked at, and then I played like a couple series. I can't remember what games. I think it was after the San Diego State game.
Mm-hmm.
That those series is when it might have happened. And I played like 2 or 3 more series, and then after the UNLV series, I just was like, it wasn't feeling good, and I tried to play versus Fresno, and then it was hurting too bad. So then got it looked at and found out what it was. And so then just decided it was best to rest for a couple games and let it heal before I came back.
So that near triple double game for you was with the stress fracture then?
I mean, yeah, most likely. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming so, yeah.
No doubt. Let's backtrack a little bit to go back to why you chose Utah State, because ultimately, like I said, you had a few different offers on the table. Some schools showing interest. Obviously, I think it kind of came down to Utah State, Montana was in the mix, Boise State, Pepperdine. But why was Utah State the school you chose? Like, what was it about Coach Craig Smith and this program that really stood out to you?
Yeah, when I came on my visit, I went on 2 visits. to Boise State and Utah State, and both were really good. But my visit at Utah State was really fun, and they just made it seem like a family. I got to see practice and how they kind of ran things, which I liked, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then just off the court stuff, the team got along really well. The coaches did anything they asked for, any favors, anything like that were really good, and just acted as a family. And I think that was the biggest thing for me. And then along with the success the team has had and Coach Smith and his staff's history as coaches. So that was the biggest key for me.
I can imagine that a lot of coaches in the country always like to go and tell guys, yeah, we're going to offer you a ton of minutes. We're going to give you a starting spot or whatnot. Coach Smith obviously did give you that eventually. Like, that was your job this past year as a freshman. But was that what he was telling you? Like, what was his original pitch? Did he expect for you to become a starting point guard? Did he expect from you? Or what was his original expectations?
Yeah, that I would say actually that was one of the biggest things is the way he talked about it was you have to earn everything. We're not going to promise you anything.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come here and earn it. And we'll give you the opportunity to earn it. And that was one of the biggest things that drew me to them too, because I think that's the right way to go about things. When you tell someone they need to earn it, if you come here, like, we believe in you 100%, we know how good you are, but you still have to earn it is a huge deal. And I wanted that challenge and wanted to go there and prove myself and earn it. So that was one of the biggest things too that drew me in to Utah State.
Everyone that studies college basketball knows that the point guard is the most critical position for any team. You need a strong point guard, otherwise your team can't be successful. And we look at you guys, 29. Obviously, you did more than what you need to do for your job, and you had a lot of special teammates. Like, you stepped into a role that was critical with a lot of guys that were ready to win now. Neemias Queta, I think, is a first-round pick this year. Marco's a special player. Like Justin, like, the list goes on. How are you able to go in there and just assert yourself so quickly and kind of take over that role and help everyone perform at a high level?
Yeah, I think I've grown up my whole life playing the one or the two, primarily the one. So I have experience there. And then definitely coming in the summer leading up to the season, it was hard to work out and practice because of COVID and everything going around. But the biggest thing was just getting used to the size and speed of the game, because that's a huge difference from high school. And I think, we had a lot of guys on our team that are really good athletes, tall 5 men like Neemi, Trevin, Shimon, a bunch of guys. So that I kind of adapted to that quick and got used to it. And our practices are super competitive. We all competed every day, got into some arguments, stuff like that, just because we're really competitive. And I think that really helped me be able to show what I can do, improve myself as a point guard for the team.
And that had to be challenging too, because it's not anytime you take over as a freshman, it's not easy, but especially when at the point guard spot. And then to make things even harder, though, you guys are in a pandemic with the restrictions that came with all the COVID stuff. How were you able to kind of deal with that? How did you handle the COVID stuff this past year?
Yeah, Coach Smith always just said, let's handle what we can control, worry about what we can control. Because some things, like say another team gets COVID and you can't play the game, there's nothing we can do about that. So we didn't worry about that. We just worried about everything we could control and went from there. And I think that really helped our team and our mindset to be in the right place for this past season.
And you got to go through those practices a little bit more, because I'm super high on Neemias. I think he's a great player. I think he should be a first-round pick. We'll see where he gets drafted at. But end of the day, he couldn't have been an easy guy to go up against. He averaged, I think, 3.5 for 4 blocks, something like that this past year. So how were you able to go against him in practice? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, obviously he's a tremendous talent and a really good athlete, especially for being that tall, and an elite rim defender. So I think he's one of the best bigs in the country for sure. And it was hard, he especially when I first got there, he put a couple of my balls into the cheap seats, he blocked a lot of shots, but no, he was really fun. He's really supportive, had confidence in everyone, believed in everyone. But he was definitely a dominant force, especially in practice and games. And that came out, but when he's on your team, it helps you a lot to be able to play, tighter defense, get up into the ball more, stuff like that. So he makes a huge difference on the court. statistically and in ways that a lot of people don't see if you don't know basketball.
A lot of guys, when they see a guy 7 foot something and has a wingspan, like you see on TV, they look massive, but then you see them in person, and it's a lot different. Even it's a lot more different than a lot taller than you probably originally thought. So that first day you walked into practice, like what was your reaction seeing him out there? Like just walk us that first day meeting Neemias and that first just overall practice with them.
Yeah, it was really fun. I had a little bit of nerves, or not nerves, but butterflies. You're excited for the first day, stuff like that. But just seeing that much, like that many 7-footers on one court at the same time was definitely different for me. But it was super fun. Made it way more competitive and like a true basketball game. And I enjoyed it a lot. It was really exciting that first day.
And that whole team, like I said, was a special team overall. But you're at practice, you're going to look up against a couple really big time guards too. How did those guys, like how did Justin, how did Brock, like some of those guys really help you throughout your freshman year?
Yeah, they always just told me be confident, and they believed in me all the way, just like I believed in them. And same with the coaching staff. So that really helped me because I could just go out and play my game and not think about it at all. I think that was one of the biggest things for sure. And then just them being really supportive off the court as well. We all really got along in the locker room and outside of the locker room. And I think that really helped us as a team being that close to each other.
Obviously, you and Coach Smith's bond is great because you're following him now to his next destination point. He also wanted you to come with him. So how close are you guys? Like, how have you seen your relationship bond from the time he started recruiting you to now today following him out there to Utah?
Yeah, even when we first started talking, I knew I really liked him as a person off the court and as a coach. And I think we're really close now. We know each other. Obviously, we spent a whole year together, so that's really good for me. Obviously, for once I enter the portal and stuff, them wanting me to go there. And I just think it says for our relationship, obviously. So.
At what point would you say started trusting you? Like when did you guys first start saying, okay, he knew that you were going to be a starting point guard. He knew that, okay, this is the guy I want running the show at point guard. And also at the same time, like when did you start feeling comfortable with the playbook and really comfortable being coached by him?
I would say like a month or so into the preseason stuff, I started getting, everything started clicking to where I didn't have to think. I would just go do it. I think I proved myself throughout practice, and earned his trust. And, he just always come up to me and tell me to be aggressive or just be me. Don't worry about anything. Just go play. And I think that really helped me know that he believed in me and trusted me.
I kind of gave a little bit of talk about a little bit ago about the UNLV game you had, and it was your first game. You guys get the W, and you go out there and you get a near triple double. Also had 19 points that game, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and also 3 steals that game. But take us to that night, January 27th. Like, how are you able to go put together that performance?
I was just really relaxed. I feel like I've said this a ton, especially in this interview, but I just played my game. And that's kind of the biggest thing for me. Just go out, be relaxed, slow the game down and just play free. And I think everyone's at their best when they do that. And, the coaches let me play, obviously left me in the game, knew I was kind of having a good game, feeling it. And then my teammates helped me out, 9 assists, you got to have guys hit some shots. And there's a lot of tough shots they hit that kind of made the stats look good. But I just thought we played pretty good as a team that night. And I didn't really know until some people on the bench started saying stuff to me about getting a triple double. And then I looked up and kind of saw what the stats looked like. But it was just a really good game overall for our team, I'd say.
Once you guys got to the end of the game, 'cause I was watching that one, did you start kind of feeling like, okay, I'm only a rebound off. I need to go get this. I want to get the rebound. I need one more assist. Like, did you start trying to get that triple double?
It kind of like when my teammates would say something, I'd kind of laugh. But once the ref handed someone the ball to throw it in, it kind of just goes out of my mind. I don't think about it. But I rewatched the game. I actually had a jump ball on a rebound that would have gave me my 10th, which sucked. But no, I didn't really seek it at all. I just wanted to get the win. We kind of had some bad plays late down the stretch where they kind of came back a little. So I was more just trying to get out of there with a W than get the triple double.
Would you say that was your favorite game of the season, or what was your favorite freshman game?
I think my first game, just because to come out and start right away and play on that at that tournament on ESPN, was really cool for me. Never played on ESPN before, anything like that, so that was super exciting. And honestly, I don't really have a favorite over everything else. I think the tournament game was really fun. Obviously, being there, making the tournament, that's your dream. Um, so yeah, I mean, everything was pretty fun for me. I had a lot of fun this season.
And now, as a guy, obviously, you guys want to go out there. You want to win the conference championship. You guys want to win the NCAA championship. But end of the day, you guys made it to the conference championship. You guys lost to San Diego State, but still made it to that game. Then you guys get into the tournament. You still got to go to the bubble, which will be hopefully just once in a lifetime opportunity. Like getting those two big moments for yourself as a freshman. What are those two moments like?
They were super exciting. I've never, I had no idea of all the things, especially in the March Madness, the tournament, what goes on, like all the stuff you get, all that, how exciting it is. So that was really cool. Obviously, the bubble was a different experience, and hopefully the last experience like that
Mm-hmm.
I or anyone has to have. But it was definitely fun and exciting time, and even just the Mountain West tournament was really fun, and to make the championship, even with no fans, it was still exciting. So that was really cool.
Now, you guys weren't guaranteed to get into the tournament. Obviously, only so many teams are, but you guys were more so on the bubble. People were saying you guys could get in, could be one of the final four, in or out. Like getting into that tournament, though, what was the team's reaction?
Everyone was super excited. It was really intense waiting. I mean, I know I was sweating a lot. You're nervous. You don't know if you're going to make it or not. And we didn't even have a playing game or anything like that. We were right in it, which was super cool. Everyone, was cheering, going crazy. And that was I think, Utah State's third time in a row, even though if you count the one that got canceled last year,
Mm-hmm.
or 2 years ago now, I guess, was the third year straight, which is super cool for the school too.
So I want you to walk us through the whole bubble because us on the outside, we heard all about it. We know what a bubble is from the NBA stuff and MLB and whatnot, but you got the personal experience. You got to enter that bubble. You had to go through the quarantine process. You went through everything that happens in there. So kind of take us through it. Like walk us through your bubble experience.
Yeah, we got there, and you test every day, and we tested right away, but then you had to sit in your room for a day or two straight,
Mm-hmm.
not able to leave or do anything, which was definitely kind of, it wasn't very fun at that point. You're sitting there, you're like, come on, like I want to do something, but it was super cool. We got a bunch of cool stuff, like little memorabilia stuff to take with us home, and then the gym in the hotels, the full court gyms, the weight room, everything was really nice, top notch. And that was just really exciting to be there for that experience.
You guys were by yourself, right? Or did you guys have someone else in the room with you?
Yeah, we each had our own room. Yeah.
So
I think
throughout
each
that,
team had our own floor too.
mm-hmm. Throughout that day, then, or the 2 days that even, like, what were you doing? Like, what was your day like in the room?
I did a lot of homework, got ahead on homework.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I had all the time in the world to do it, so it was pretty easy to get done. But besides that, I was just talking to my family and a bunch of friends back home. Just telling them about everything. How crazy it was down there and how exciting. Because I got a lot of support from a bunch of people back home, which is nice to have. But besides that, we were just getting updates on when we were going to find out when we could leave the room and start practicing and all that stuff. So really kind of just chilling out, kind of got a chance to take it all in and stuff like that.
The game doesn't go as you guys obviously wanted it to, but you still are on March Madness. You're still playing in a real game that you grew up watching on TV, filling out brackets for, and you were part of that game. So, what was that game like going up against Texas Tech in the tournament, March Madness? What was going through your mind?
I was really excited, before the game. And personally, I didn't play a good first half. And I thought I came out more relaxed the second half and kind of calmed my nerves a little bit. But it was fun. That experience, playing at the University of Indiana was crazy. That gym, the history there and just that atmosphere. And we had fans, which was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really fun. Obviously, we I thought we should have won or could have won the game, and it just didn't go our way, but it was still a really cool experience.
The season comes to a close, and we know all the rumors were already happening throughout the year about Coach Smith getting another job because he obviously deserved it. And then he takes the job, and it's kind of self-explanatory why you put name in the portal then. But you decided to do the same thing that a lot of guys are doing in the country. You put your name in the portal. Walk us through that. Like, what was it like sitting in the portal? How'd you deal with it? Who all was reaching out to you? Like, what was life in the portal like?
Yeah, it was kind of stressful, to be honest, because the day I entered in, that the first day and the second day was like my phone was just blowing up. Had a ton of people texting me, DMing, any way you could get contact. It was a little bit overwhelming at first, and was just super excited when Coach Smith and his staff from Utah ended up hitting me up, because that's ultimately where I wanted to go, because I'm comfortable with them and trust them, and they trust me and believe in me. So that was the best fit for me, and that's what I was hoping would happen. That was a really cool experience.
What was the most shocking coach? Like you said, your phone's blowing up though, but what was the most shocking coach that reached out to you? Like that you picked up the phone and like, whoa, this coach has offered me, or this coach has talked to me?
I wouldn't say I had anything, because I mean, honestly, I didn't know a lot of coaches around the country, because I wasn't crazy, like heavily recruited out of high school. Some good schools like TCU, Minnesota, Stanford, Oregon State, Montana State reached out to me again. Davidson, some of the storied programs, I think, was more the exciting part. And then, it's really cool to get recruited like that and know, those coaches have watched you played and know your talent, like think you're talented and want you to go there. That was a cool experience for sure. And definitely appreciated everyone who reached out to me.
But you knew that if Utah offered you with Coach Smith, that's probably where you're going to be heading then?
Yeah, definitely. I knew out of the gate if they reached out to me, that's where I would end up wanting to go for sure.
So as we all know now, you're going to Utah. It's all what happened exactly the way you wanted to. So how excited are you to go play in the Pac-12 now?
Yeah, I would just say the biggest things I'm excited. I can't wait to get down there. Obviously, I've always wanted to play at the highest level I can, no matter where I'm at, and play against the best players. And the Pac-12 is definitely a league or a conference where you're going to be playing elite guys all the time on your own team and the opposing team. Yeah, I'm just super excited to get down there later this summer and just start getting to work, and I've been to Salt Lake before. It's a really cool city. And I know they get a ton of support from their fan base and community. And I just, was really comfortable with Coach Smith and the staff. And that was definitely the biggest reason for me going there, to continue my athletic and academic careers, just because it's, one, a great school, and two, just the coaching staff there.
This will be a new look team, kind of like a rebuild. Obviously, they haven't been horrible, but they haven't been the best in the past few years now. But now you're coming in there. Marco, you're coming back out there so you have a little more familiarity with someone. Gabe's coming out there from Cincinnati. David, as you said, obviously is a special player from UNLV. He's heading out there. How special is this team though? Like, what can fans expect from this year's Utah team?
I think we'll be pretty good. We got a lot of talented guys, and at the end of the day, it's just about bringing it together and playing well as a team. But we got a great coaching staff, great players, and I'm just excited for this year. I can't promise anything, but I think we'll be pretty successful and have a great year.
So what can you guarantee the fans? Like, what can you promise them that you'll bring to the team every time you step on that court?
I'll go all out. I'll go all out offensively, defensively. I'll play within the team, and I'll just play hard, and I'll do anything it takes to win.
We also have something in your Instagram bio. You said, I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Take us what that means to you.
Yeah, just, to me, it just means that's kind of how I go about everything. I'd rather be up doing what I want to do and doing things, kind of my way and how I see is right, rather than doing things the wrong way or someone else's view that I don't agree with. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just doing me whether it's in life, on the court, in school, and doing what is best for me at the end of the day. And I think that's what, a lot of people do, at least should do, because what's best for me and my family is obviously what I want to be doing and what I think suits me best, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, a couple more things before I let you go. And one of the things I like wrapping up with is talking about building a legacy for yourself, because I think that's something that all guys ultimately want to do. So when you are done playing basketball someday, what do you want to be remembered for what you do both on and off the court?
Yeah, I would just say doing things the right way, and giving it my all on and off the court. Anything I do, be doing 100%, and doing everything it takes to be the best I can and the best for my team.
Absolutely, man. Well, final thing for you. You have Utah fans with 3 biggest goals you have set for your Utah career.
I'd say win a conference tournament, obviously make the big dance. Not only make the big dance, but also win games in it, and go as far as we can at the tournament. Those are probably the 3 things I'd say.
Absolutely, man. Well, I definitely appreciate taking time to come on today. Congrats on the big move, and I'm excited to see what guys got next for you, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it a ton. Thanks for the interview.
Of course, I was welcome on, man. God bless.
You too.